take some time. We're gonna take some time. Y'all gotta excuse me if you can hear my TV in the background. Shahid is watching his cartoons, and it's gonna take us a little minute to get started. But I'm gonna give you all some time to come on in the room. Come on in the room. Uh, and let me also make sure that I'm ready for y'all. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is something that I feel like it was a long time coming for us to have this discussion about these riots and these protests and about all this voting and the craziness that's going on out here. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I was eating before I decided to log on. I was eating. So, for those of you who are new, my name is Reese Roberts, and this podcast is called Entertain the Thought. We talk about social issues, we talk about metaphysics, we talk about consciousness, science, history, technology, things like that. So today we're talking about the riots that are being born of our peaceful protests, and all of the things that I think about it because we're oh goodness y'all, we're having a shift. Okay, the planet is separating. Okay, the planet is cutting off things that are low vibrational because we have created an imbalance of energy with the planet, and like any other sentient being, which would be us, the planet has its own way of healing itself and letting releasing things that are not conducive to the evolution of the planet according to whatever the planet wants to do in its own will. Of course, you know that the planet is a sentient being. It's a part of the cosmos, and so we have to understand what that means as far as our existence upon the planet. It means that when if we ever act as a unit, okay, the unit being humanity. If we ever act in such a way that we are destroying the planet, it would be like any other time that you threaten the life of a living being. It is going to oppose you. It is going to come against you in an effort to save itself, and that's what we're seeing with this planet. So there's a lot. First of all, it doesn't sound like that's at all related to protests and riots, but it has everything to do with it. So 3D and 5D are two different paradigms, okay, that are existing on top of each other because we don't have, well, everybody doesn't have the ability to ascend above it. So it's causing these polarities to start exposing themselves in our society because some people are ascending and some people are not. Okay. And so now you have this extreme opposition where you have those who refuse to do the work to ascend. They are in opposition to those who are doing the work to ascend, and those two different realities are in contradiction to each other. So this is the reason why we're in a perfect environment to start a race war. Divide and conquer is a real thing, okay? It's a real mental conditioning or social conditioning tactic that's been used for, I mean, since the beginning of this whole spiel that we've had with the Caucasian race. So the idea of dividing and conquering is really based on presenting an argument or presenting an idea that is polarized, where people can take one end or the other. That's the reason why you have a Democratic Party and a Republican Party. It's the reason why you have well, actually, I mean, there are dualities all over the place in our society where you can just choose a side. I mean, either you're gay or you're straight. I mean, you're black or you're white. You're rich or you're poor. Dualities are everywhere, and we have to figure out which way we want to go. But this duality that we're looking at in particular is extremely special because of the end goal of what it's talking about. We're literally looking at the difference between heaven and hell with these paradigms that are shifting, or the paradigms that are splitting apart and becoming polarized. So for those people who refuse to do the work to ascend, They want to continue to vote. They want to continue to protest. They want to continue to argue with Caucasian people. They want to continue to beg Caucasian people. They want to continue to fight for acceptance in the white community. They still want to talk like they're white, act like they're white, live in white communities, all these other things like that. And excuse me, I have to say this. I'm only using the term black and white for simplicity's sake. I am a big person about nationality. So when I say that, I need you to understand that we're not talking about nationalities. We're talking about social labels. Nationalities are completely different. We are not black and they are not white. There is no such thing. And we have to start to program our minds to correct our language when we're speaking, unless we define ourselves otherwise. So we want to continue to do these things that we've always done, which is a great indicator that we have not done the work to ascend. Okay. When you have ascended, that means you have broken cycles. When you have ascended, that means you are no longer stuck in an energetic vibration or frequency that is not serving you. If you're ascending, then you're opening your eyes to realize who are your true adversaries, who are your true opponents, and who are your true enemies. Because when you open your eyes to ascend, you realize that whatever it is that you're asking from these or of these white people, okay, you start to open your eyes and realize that you are the source of your own power. You are the source of your own protection. You are the source of your own abundance. You are the source of your own purpose. You are the source of your own acceptance. You are the source of your own power and energy in all ways, in any way imaginable. So when we're going to these Caucasian people and we're saying, what? We want you to fix our neighborhoods. You know what? We have to stop that. That's a cycle that needs to be broken. We want them to keep us safe. That's a cycle that needs to be broken. We can keep ourselves safe. Okay? We can keep our own neighborhoods together. All right? We have to stop. I mean, what is it that we want from them? What do we want from them? We want them to what? Wear our clothes? I mean, they're already doing that. They're already jacking everything that we do. Clearly, they accept us. Clearly, they think the world of us, or else they would leave us alone. They're like a toxic relationship. I keep saying that they're like a narcissistic relationship where you have a person that they're like, well, if I can't have you, ain't nobody else gonna have you neither. You know, these people are crazy. I'm not going to generalize and say that all of them are crazy. There are plenty of them out there that are wonderful people. But we don't need no damn new friends, y'all. We don't need no new friends. I mean, we have been in a place where everything we do has been stolen from us. And I mean, they will take whatever we've created, customize it for their community, and then put it up on a pedestal and say that it's worthy. But then when it's in our neighborhood, in our communities, it's ghetto or it's hood or it's, less than. It's not sophisticated or refined. But then when they take it, slap a white face on it, then all of a sudden, or slap a pale face on it, then all of a sudden it's on Vogue and the front of Time magazine. We have to stop looking for them to do what? What are we protesting for? For the police to stop killing us? And again, broken. It's a cycle that needs to be broken. We have to find another solution, okay? Asking them to stop killing us is not working. News flash, you guys. News flash. Well, I posted a video on my Instagram page where this brother was in his 30s and he was talking to another brother that was in his 60s, I think. And he was angry. The guy in his 60s was angry. So the guy in his 30s was trying to stop him. He was like, what good is it going to do for you to be this angry? It hasn't changed anything. It hasn't changed. All the anger that we have inside of us has not changed a single damn thing. So why do we continue to allow it to trigger us to change our vibrational frequencies and our frame of mind? Why do we allow it to reprogram what the universe has called us to be, which is happy and abundant? Why do we want their attention? Why do we vie for their affections? And we are doing this in the public eye. It's embarrassing. We're doing this in front of people. It's like we're begging and scrapping and we're at their feet like, please, don't let us go. Please, take care of us, please. And it's just like, God damn, are we really that gone? Are we really that gone in the head that we think voting for these from to these people is gonna work? God, it pisses me off. It really makes me physically upset. It makes me physically shaken because I'm like, what? It's like, you watch movies on Lifetime. Like when I was young, I used to watch movies on Lifetime with my mom, and I used to just think it was so pitiful sometimes when women would be abused and they would still be trying to get the man's attention, trying to get his acceptance and all these things. And when I look at us in society, it gives me the same disgust. It's like, come on. And I mean, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have had to look in the mirror and see the same disgust. I was the woman. I was that woman being abused by a man and still wanting him to love me. I was there. I did it. And it's all the more reason why I'm saying what I'm saying now. We have to stop this toxic relationship. We have to stop wanting it. Because if we don't, we'll never gain our freedom. We will never see the grass is truly greener on the other side, which is the side where we choose our own power. We choose our own existence, our own ideologies. We're choosing our own systems of thought and, trusting our own visions. If I say that I want society to look a certain way, why do I need to wait on the Caucasian to create the reality that I want? Why? If I want my reality to be a specific way, guess what? I have all the power, all the resources, all the ability to create for me to get it there. I don't need an outside source or a third party. And I'm going to tell you something. That is a concept that came from the Caucasian himself. The Caucasian introduced the idea of a third party having more power to do for you than you have to do for yourself. That's where Jesus came from. That ideology that you need a third party, okay, to be your provision, to be your power, to be your protection, your peace, to be your this and that. They set it up that way so that when you think you're going to have all these things from the universe, in your mind, you have to get it from them. If you are the person who refuses to recondition your mind away from propaganda, social conditioning, okay? These things came from like the Crusades way back when we had these when we had what do you call it? The Inquisitions, times where we were being forced and all those efforts were being made to steal us away from our true identity. We have to reject that. We have to reject that in our thoughts because the simple fact that anybody even wants to be out there protesting and voting, to me, is problematic. It is extremely problematic. It's just like, who are they? Who are they? And why do we feel like we have to answer to them? Why do we feel like we have to rely on them so doggone much? Because they put themselves in a position to be relied on. They put themselves in a position and gave themselves the perception or gave themselves the image of being saviors. And then they forced that perception on us and reinforced it over decades and centuries of time. But, we got to bust up out of that, y'all. We're strong enough to bust out of that. We're strong enough for our minds to overcome the false narrative that we need them. I mean, it's the same way if you're in a toxic relationship with somebody. They have convinced you, oh, you can't go nowhere. You'll never be anything without me. You'll never be good without me. This is the narrative that they have given to us. But we're stronger than that, you guys. We're stronger than that narrative where I have to, you know, I have to beg and plead in order for me to continue to live. That's just not the way we should be operating. Okay, so if we are thinking about forward progression, if we're thinking about what is the end game, I'm going to tell you on two sides of the spectrum. I don't see protesting going anywhere. I posted another clip on my Instagram page from Dr. Claude Anderson, and he talks about the roadmap, so to speak, for us, or leading to our freedom, leading to a place where we can start to build from. And he mentioned a very important idea, a very important point, that This entire country runs off of economics. It runs off of economy. So if we are to do any type of building, any type of progression as a community, we must have an economic social structure organized first. We have to. There's just no way that anybody will take us seriously when we don't have any funding behind our society or our nation. There is no nation on the face of this planet that is recognized that doesn't have any structure that I know of. I mean, don't quote me on that. I could be wrong about that, but I will say that if we want to be a nation of power, a black nation of power, or a melanated nation of power, we must have an economic structure to build on, to mobilize us. So I don't want to get all tied up into, the details of what we should and should not be doing. But I know for one thing, voting and protesting ain't gonna do it. Um, and I also want to talk about as we're vying for the attention of these Caucasians. Um, I want to know what do we really believe is going to come of that? Do we really believe that now? Okay, you see Netflix and all these other major corporations are now starting to step up and say, oh, we have a platform, we have a voice, we should be standing. I think Netflix, and it just got up under my skin because Netflix came out with this post talking about, oh, we have black employees, we have black friends, and blah blah blah. We have a platform, we need to be speaking out, it's the right thing to do. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Where's my goddamn watch? What the fuck time is it? Because bitch, it's 2020. Where the fuck have you been? You done had them black employees on your payroll since inception. Now all of a sudden you got a platform. Now all of a sudden you feel like it's the right thing to do. Don't play. Don't play. You are a day late and a dollar short, as my mother used to say. Don't speak to me. Don't speak to me now that the shit is hitting the fan and it's in your best interest to go along with whatever your masters are telling you to do. They're telling you to support black people so that you can get black people into the streets. And then you send your anarchists into the peaceful protest so that they can incite a riot out of a peaceful protest. Caucasian people out there attracting trouble, which is what they're designed to do. You understand what I'm saying, y'all? No new friends. Stop inviting these people into what we doing. God damn it. Stop inviting them. Oh, Rihanna, tell your white friends to pull up. I feel like she was the first one who started that idea. I mean, I've always questioned why our white friends don't pull up, but I ain't never invited none of them to pull up. Because to me, if I got to invite you to pull up, you didn't want to. If we family, if we friends, if we riders, I don't have to ask you to come up behind me when it's time to shoot. When it's time to go off. When it's time, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to ask if you a real one. So where they been? They ain't no real friends. And we don't need no new friends. Stop asking them to pull up. Don't ask them to pull up. No, because we got it already. We doing it now. We see what's happening. And we see where you've been standing at this whole time. You want to wait until the corporations tell you to come and stand up. Now they made it okay for you to be supportive of your black friends, quote unquote. Come on now. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. They've shown us where their heart is. They've shown us where their loyalties lie. And so no invitations, no open invitations. Because to what end? Again, you get Caucasians on your side and then what? And then what? What are they going to do? Oh, use your white. I've seen people say that before. Use your white privilege to take a stand up on behalf of black people. Come on, y'all. What do you think is the white privilege of a poor person? Because half of the times the people that we're asking to use their white privilege to stand up for us, the real people who have white power or a perception of white power, they'll shoot them dead, just as dead as you if they stand in the way. Poor Caucasians in the eyes of the elite are the exact same as niggas. They are the exact same. If you have no economic value, you have no voice. You have no power in this society. And if that's what you ever want to obtain, you need to make sure you're working on your economic stability. We're not going to have another option. We're not going to have another option. And when I say economic stability, I'm not talking about fiat. I'm not talking about promissory notes or IOUs to the Federal Reserve Bank. I'm talking about real currency. I'm talking about goods, products, and services. I'm talking about commerce, trade, real value. We have the power to do that. First of all, because we've been doing it. We've been the basis of economic value in this country. We've been that. So to me, there's not even a question of where the value lies. It does not lie with Caucasians, I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much. It doesn't lie in their hands. We are the source, which is the reason why we are the engine that they have been riding on. Because we are the source of power. That's the reason why they are considered parasites and vampires, because they have to get their sustenance off of a host. They must be attached to somebody who has power in order for them to live. It's like we're the socket and they're the appliance. If we unplug them, they don't work. If we unplug them from all of our innovations, all of our intellectual superiority, if we neglect to share our intellectual power with them, our innovative technologies and the things that we come up on, do you know how they would be left behind? We are the minds that dream this stuff up. We are the brains that do all this. And I mean, the only reason why society is the way it is because we've been hijacked. All of the beauty and the diamonds that come up out of us, they dig them up and take off with them. So we can't even do anything good with the very things that are born of us. We have to put a stop to that. Because a lot of times we do it by allowance. We do it by agreement. How many companies right now that were started by black people are now owned by white people? How many times have we had billionaire potential, but we sold it off at millionaire level? How many times we had $1 trillion potential and we sold it off at $1 million level? You know, we have to stop. We have to stop thinking that they are the better way, because they're getting their way from us. So if we're thinking that their way is better, then we need to look in the doggone mirror. We need to look in the mirror, because they're not doing anything without us. Nothing. All of their major processes, all of their major systems, all of their major power is rooted in us. Around every turn, every corner, even the political system. Don't you realize that there is an entire study called political science? Don't you realize that that policy making and politics is a science? Guess where they learned that science from? It wasn't scholastic books. It wasn't scholastics. It was us. And so you can't tell me that type of ingenuity is going to go to waste now that we're at a pivoting point. We're splitting off, y'all. It's time to make or break. The old ways of doing and understanding and living is over. There is no straddling the fence anymore. I think that's a better way to put it. We're not straddling the fence anymore. Right now, what we're going to see is you're going to have to choose a side. Either you're going to be with the government or against it. Either you're going to be with them Caucasians or you're going to be against them. Either you're going to be with evolution, revolution, or you're going to be with your mundane, controlled reality. Okay? Either you want to be controlled or you want to be free. Either you want to have the ease of control or you want to have the difficulty of freedom. I want you to understand that being free is not easy. I think that's the reason why black people would prefer to protest every time somebody get killed. Because that just is a good, cozy way for us to feel good about being a good person. Oh, yeah, I went out there and protested when they killed all those people. Every time they killed them, I went out there and walked and I marched. But yeah. We're not going to be able to do that no more. It's real work. Real work. If you want to say that you're free, if you want to say that you're supporting your people, if you want to say that you have a purpose, if you want to say that you are abundant, peaceful, any of those things, you're not going to be able to fake it. Because being on the side of oppression, being on the side of the control of the government, tyranny, you'll never reach or attain peace or any sense of freedom, any sense of purpose. But if you decide to ascend, if you decide to take control of your own life, then that's where you start to assume your power and you start to do the work that it takes to be free. I'm going to read something to you that I have above my computer on my desk. And it's something that I like to read just to give myself a reality check, because this is something that I really had to come to terms with in my own personal life, and as I decided to ascend from negative things that did not serve my life and that I felt like were holding me back. So listen to this. It's called The Bottom Line. It says, face it, nobody owes you a living. What you achieve or fail to achieve in your lifetime is directly related to what you do or fail to do. No one chooses his parents or childhood, but you can choose your own direction. Everyone has problems and obstacles to overcome, but that too is related to each individual. Talking about the law of relativity. It goes on to say, nothing is carved in stone. You can change anything in your life if you want it to, or if you want to badly enough. Excuses are for losers. Those who take responsibility for their actions are the real winners in life. I'm going to say that again because that's us right now. Those who take responsibility for their actions are the real winners in life. Winners meet life challenges head on, knowing there are no guarantees, and give it all they've got. Come on now, somebody better preach. I love reading this thing. It's never too late or too early to begin. Time plays no favorites and will pass whether you act or not. Time plays no favorites and it's going to pass you by whether you are active or not. Take control of your life. Dare to dream and take risks. If you aren't willing to work for your goals, don't expect others to. Now, we got to get these things in order. We have to get our house in order. Nobody owes us anything. These white people don't owe us nothing. Yeah, they took a lot from us. They did, but they don't owe us nothing because half the time what we were doing was allowing them. It's sort of like we were forced to allow it because of the way that it happened. So it seemed like we got, of course, a very raw and unfair deal from the universe because there was really nothing that we could do to stop these people from, having their free will. Their free will, they have every right in their free will to say that they want to be evil and they want to dominate people. And I think that's where we have to start realizing where they are and where we are. They're doing what they want to do. Okay. And like I said in my last broadcast, we can't change them. In any relationship, you can't change people. They have to want to change for themselves. And while we're steadily beating them upside the head and trying to send them on guilt trips and stuff, they are the narcissistic, partners that we've had in these bad relationships. And we're steadily trying to get them to change. We're trying to force them to change. You can't do that. These people, if they want to be evil, they want to be oppressive, they want to be tyrants. We can't stop them from doing that. But what we can do is adjust. What we can do is learn from the past. What we can do is figure out how we want to carry on and move on from the toxicity that they've given us over all these years. We've tried to love them. We've tried to teach them. We've tried to join them. We've tried to accept. We've tried to be accepted. We have gone through the entire list of things to do to get somebody to love you. Okay? And it's not working. They don't love us. They need us. And that's a difference. Oh my God. There's a difference. Have you ever been in a relationship with somebody who don't really love you? They just need you. Huh? Think about it, you guys. They need us. They don't love us though. They hate us. They would rather see us, balled up in the corner and die. But they can't let us go. They need us too bad. They want to love us, which is the reason why they do everything we do. The reason why they pretend to be our friends. The reason why they laugh in our faces, and every time they get around us, now all of a sudden they speak in slang. I can't stand I get around a white person now. Everything they saying is a ain't and a neck roll and I'll be like, girl, if you don't calm that shit down, man, you about to have a problem. You not me, so calm down. I can't stand it when Caucasians do that. Never heard you speak a conjunction in your life. Now all of a sudden everything is ain't and can't. Back up. Back up. No new friends. No new friends. I don't want you to protest with me. Matter of fact, I'm not protesting no goddamn more. It's over with. We have to realize what's working and what's not. At some point, we have to know that protests are dead. That's dead language. Money is what talks. My stepfather used to always say, money talk, bullshit walk. We got to stop. We got to stop thinking that we can just convince these people. You ever try to guilt trip your husband to stop cheating on you, or guilt trip your wife to stop cheating on you? That don't work. If that person don't mean you no good, they don't mean you no good. A guilt trip ain't gonna help you. A guilt trip is not gonna stop them from doing what they want to do. They got their own free will. They have their own free will to go about and do about whatever they want. So again, my people, let them folks go. Let them go. Let them go. Stop calling them to the protest. I know we love Rihanna, and she had a little gangster walk on when she said, tell your white friends to pull up. Don't tell them to pull up to my protest. Because I'm going to tell you something. They pull up over here, they're going to get their feelings hurt. Just like my sister that was on that video. They was out there handing out bricks to some of the young black men, trying to get them to bust up, buildings and cause a riot. And that sister she damn near threw that brick back inside of that car and kicked them on out the neighborhood and told them to go on about their way. Because why are you out here trying to get these young brothers into trouble? You're trying to get them out here, getting them all riled up. And that's what the media, doing. Oh, now we want to take a stand with y'all. We're going to take a stand with y'all. They want us to flood the streets so they can come out there with them rubber bullets. So they can come out there with that gas. So they can come out there with them dogs. Because they expect for us to be ignorant and rowdy. They expect for us, wherever we see trouble, wherever they're attracting trouble, they expect for us to be the first in line to eat it up. We're not falling for that this time. We're not falling for that this time. You want to be angry and go out there and run into a mob of itchy trigger finger policemen? That's what you really want to do? When you know good and full well the first thing they're going to do is murder you and get away with it? How is that logical? How is that a logical course of action? We don't want to do that. We don't want to get ourselves into a place where we're playing big bank take little bank or big gun shoot little gun with these people. They looking for it. They ready for it. I'm not trying to see no more lives taken from my community. We're not having war. I'm not here for war in the streets. Why? We've already had a war against us for so long. Why do you want to amp it up? You want to amp up the war? Come on, y'all. We have more intellectual power, more intellectual ability that's within our capacity, to act and to think. We don't need to do that. We don't need to be out there, trying to do what? Do what? Oh, that's what I keep trying to think of. What are we trying to do with the protest? When has a protest ever given us the desired results that we're looking for? Dr. Claude Anderson said they're going to keep killing you and hunting you down because they know all you're going to do is go protest. They know that. They study you. They know your every move. They know your tendencies and proclivities. They're not getting ready to ignore the fact that they know you have no power. Why don't you have power? Because you have no organization. You have no unity. You have no money. No structures. No agencies. No office to hold. That's the reason why they try us the way they do. Because we steadily trying to exist in their organization. We steadily trying to exist in their policies and procedures. We still trying to make what works for them work for us. We are polar opposites. What works for them ain't gonna work for us. no more. It never has. I can't even say it that way. It's not going to work for us. It wasn't made to work for us. It was made to work for them. Now, whose responsibility is it to create something that works for us? Them? Do you think they're going to give us policies and procedures that make black people's lives better? What? No. That was never their intention in the first place. The policies and procedures that they have are there to make Caucasian life superior. They have their heaven right here on earth. And what are we trying to do? We're trying to break down the doors to hell, because their heaven is our hell. And we're trying to break down the doors into their hell, trying to make it into a heaven, when we could just be building heaven and walking through the doors of heaven on our own, creating our own procedures, our own policies, our own structures, our own organizations, our own missions, our own projects, our own businesses. Oh my God. Our own economy, our own everything. I mean, you see this little guy? Look at him. He got a whole lifetime in front of him to be figuring this stuff out. But do you think I'm going to make him start from scratch? No. My baby will be given something of order and substance to hold on to. Him, his siblings, if he ever has any, his cousins, okay? They have intellectual property that needs to be housed somewhere. It needs to be mobilized. It needs to have some kind of structure so that these folks, the little ones, the young ones, so they can step into something and say, oh yeah, we take ownership of this. This is my community. These are my people. These are the things that we need. These are the things that we desire in our communities. These are the political needs that we come with. Like Dr. Claude Anderson said, when you got money, you can buy politicians. Ain't that what lobbying is? Y'all don't understand how the political system works. Whenever anything needs to happen in the world, you have to buy a politician to get it approved. Now, who is to say what needs to happen in the world? The people with the most money? Now you see how it works. Why do you think Bill Gates has the platform that he has? He's not a politician, but he's rich. So he has a say-so in what's happening with society because he's got the money. He's the one buying the politicians' favor. He's the one telling them where they're supposed to be going and what they're doing. In a corporation, the board of directors is the one who makes the decisions on what's going to get done with that organization. Bill Gates is on the board of directors for so many different things. And he, whatever his agenda is, that's where he go. that's where he uses money. Whatever his social agenda is, whatever he just feel like doing as a project, that's what he spend his money on. And this is all I'm saying, is that we have to get into the frame of mind where we understand how these things are working. The society is moved by way of corporate structure. Okay? Reality is created by way of corporate structure. Corporate means joint, collective. Just like if you were to have corporate punishment or corporal punishment. It's like we're joining in to do this together. You understand? We have to get ourselves in this frame of mind where we understand that the hands that move social reform or social activity is economy, not politics. And I think that's where we have to get our real focus of understanding, is that we have to understand it's not politics that we need to be focused on. We're thinking that these people are controlling society through politics, and that's just a smoke and mirrors game. It's just a facade. It's farce. We have to go back into our original research, go back into our original understanding of what political science is, understand what commerce is. Shahi, I'm talking. Thank you. We have to understand the operations of commerce. What is the functionality of commerce? Because again, corporate bodies are the hands that move society to its different points of evolution. And if we don't grasp that conceptually and start to apply it practically, we are going to be stuck. if we try to if we try to do anything in commerce. Anything you're trying to do in commerce, which is the basis of this society's operating system, is commerce, capitalism, individualism. Okay, these are the things that we operate on. So if we don't grasp conceptually that economy, not politics, is how we get a start on our forward progression, then we will never have a true grasp on what's being done. Because at the end of the day, money rules. It governs how we interact with each other. Now, I'm not saying that we can't come up with a different way. I mean, if we came up like what's his name, my brother Akon and his sister in their Akon City over there in is it West Africa somewhere? I'm not sure. Um, he decided that he wanted to create his own cryptocurrency, the A coin. And so, to me, I don't feel like there's any reason why we couldn't do something similar, and why we could not adopt those same practices and basically create a mini economy inside of an economy where we use, like I said before, our power to create, our intellectual property, our innovation, our industrialism. We can figure out, okay, a way to self sustain without the assistance of any third parties. It's almost like if I were to tell you that, you know, it's almost like, okay, if you were to win the lottery, if you win the lottery, do you feel like um, you have to leave your check or leave your money with the lottery instead of taking it and managing it yourself? I mean, I know there are people out there that have financial advisors and stuff like that, but there are many people out there who have money and they don't want a third party get in their hands and they stuff. That's how people take stuff from you. That's how people take advantage of you. They steal from you, and they deceive you, which is clearly our problem. We've allowed these people to take care of things that we should be taking care of ourselves. And, they have corrupted it. They have completely taken advantage of our trust. They have completely taken advantage of our participation and our willingness to contribute to their social structure. So at some point, like I said, we have to realize that this is a time where we say no more. I'm not protesting anymore. I'm not going outside with y'all. I'm going to stay in the house. I'm going to figure out how I can come to the assistance of my community using my own power, my own resources, my own ideas, okay, my own connections and resources. How can I serve my community in the ways that my community needs to be served? Whatever it is that we're asking the Caucasian for as we move through the legal processes and all that stuff, whatever it is that we're asking them for, figure out how you can do it for the Black community on your own. Think of ways that we can do whatever it is we're asking for. Think of how we can do it ourselves. And then you place yourself in that. You place yourself in a place where you can be helpful in the ways that you can be helpful to your people without having to ask for any third party assistance. Okay? We can do this. It's not going to be the easiest thing that anybody's ever done. But goddamn, would you rather be working towards something or nothing? Because staying in this Caucasian system, we're working towards nothing at all but heartache and pain and death and destruction. Okay? So do you want to keep working in slavery in a hamster wheel? Or do you want to climb on Jacob's ladder and truly ascend? Do you want to figure out what it means to start off with the seed of life, bloom into the flower of life, and then grow into the tree of life? Come on now, somebody better start. All right, I'm about to start getting metaphysical with you. Okay? The seed of life is your ideas, your thoughts, your conceptual understandings of things. The flower of life is when you start to bloom and you start to align. Okay? The flower of life is your blooming process. It is when your seed starts to give you some sense of groundedness. Okay? And then the tree of life is when it becomes abundance. The tree of life is when you start to bear fruit. The tree of life is when you start to walk in your ownership of your power and you know how to direct it. You know how to um, exist and stand firmly in your power, knowing that um, you have a purpose to serve and that it can't be taken from you. There's a lot of security in the process of ascension. As you ascend, You just realize that you're connected to a source of power that can't be broken. Okay, if you're aware of it, once you become aware of the universal power that's in you, that can't be broken away from you. It just can't. So you guys, my baby getting noisy. He done brought his pots and pans out. So I'm getting ready to sign off because I know he's not gonna let me talk anymore. I think he's starting to get. It's been 45 minutes. He like it's my time. I bought him a little cook set where he could. Shall he bring me your pots and pans so I can show my people? Bring me your pot. Bring me the pot, boy, so I can show them. This? Yes, I want to see it. Okay. My baby got some stainless steel pots. Ain't they cute? So he likes to cook with me sometimes. So I went down the girls' aisle today, and I mean the other day, and I saw this, and I was like, okay, let me get this for my son. Even though I know it's a girl's toy, it was in the girl aisle. Men are chefs, okay? So I wanted to get my baby a little something where he can practice his skills and get started with the idea of being an alchemist, because that's what good chefs are. They're just alchemists. They use the elements and the properties of the ingredients to make things new and delicious. That's what alchemy is. So I'm excited that I got my baby this. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna let you go. I really love you. I want you to go to my website, reeseroberts.com. If you're on Instagram, you can click the link in my bio, and it'll take you to a lot of my products and services on my website. So reeseroberts.com is where you can find me. Y'all come back. I'll be here on Friday. Hopefully I'll be back at 11 a.m. again. But on Friday, this is where you'll see me. I love you guys. Peace and many, many blessings. Thank you for coming.